How did a rural New Mexico village with a population of 430 end up with a rogue police department of more than 100 officers?
Tonight, News 13 investigative reporter Larry Barker has the results of a 2-month investigation. Who's playing cop?
It's kind of like going back to the Wild West.
When I first looked at it, I went, oh my God.
It makes absolutely no sense. It's dangerous. It's inexcusable.
To the casual observer, this is just a picturesque village 30 miles south of Roswell. But behind the scenes, there's something terribly wrong in Lake Arthur, New Mexico, population 430.
The focus of our investigation is on the police department. Now, officially, Lake Arthur doesn't really have a police department. This building was abandoned years ago. Today, the village pays volunteer cops $20 a year to occasionally write speeding tickets.
But a News 13 investigation finds unofficially, Lake Arthur has amassed an underground police force with more than 100 gun-toting officers on its roster. None of them live in Lake Arthur. In fact, most don't even live in New Mexico. For example, Lake Arthur Police Sergeant Comey Chantrell lives in California. Sergeant Jonathan Gourley lives in Colorado. And Sergeant Dwayne Liptak lists a Texas address. It's a scheme cooked up by Lake Arthur's volunteer police chief, Will Norwood. Our investigation finds Norwood passed out authentic-looking police credentials to scores of friends, associates, and celebrities across the country. Bill Fulgenetti heads up the New Mexico Municipal League.
Bill, in your 40 years here at the Municipal League, have you ever seen a situation like this?
No, never. Not at all. It just actually blew me away.
State Police Chief Pete Cassettis serves on the Law Enforcement Academy Board.
My opinion is it's a complete sham. My opinion is that what's happening in Lake Arthur needs to be stopped immediately, and that chief needs to be held responsible.
The Lake Arthur badge scheme has been going on for 13 years.
We started it out as a way to have law enforcement, more law enforcement here in the town.
Isidro Salazar is Lake Arthur's mayor.
Our community is so small that we can't afford to pay a police officer a lot of money.
So how do you keep the peace? Well, Lake Arthur Police Chief Will Norwood made a suggestion.
He came up with the idea that hey, maybe we can have some reserves and they'll help us out.
Norwood proposed forming a Lake Arthur posse of sorts, a group of volunteers called reserve officers who could help keep the village safe. Now, because reservists are not certified police officers, they don't have law enforcement powers and they can't make arrests.
The Lake Arthur Reserve Police Program was launched in 2005, but instead of recruiting local residents, the chief rounded up a posse from across the country. There were ex-military buddies, gun enthusiasts, and a handful of celebrities, like military hero and lone survivor author Marcus Luttrell from Texas signed up. So did Rob O'Neill, the ex-Navy SEAL who claimed to have killed Osama bin Laden. Mixed martial arts legend Hoist Gracie and his brother were recruited, along with jiu-jitsu guru David Adiv from New Jersey. So was ex-Navy SEAL Andrew Arabito, who calls California home. More than 80% of the Lake Arthur police force live out of state.
They were here and volunteer. They would fly in, do their time, and then they would go back home.
Our investigation finds Lake Arthur's chief abused his authority by passing out legitimate police credentials, allowing private citizens to wear badges, carry guns, and play cop.
Why do you think these guys want a New Mexico police credential?
There's probably a couple reasons. Many people want to be police officers and just can't. So what seems like what they're doing is they're somewhat buying their way in.
The town council was told reservists would be volunteers and have limited law enforcement authority. However, in exchange for a $400 annual fee, the credentials Norwood issued gave his friends full police powers with statewide authority. A Lake Arthur commission card allows private citizens to wear badges, carry concealed weapons, and bypass accredited training.
What is the difference between some businessman with a Lake Arthur badge living in California and a New Mexico state police officer?
The difference is 22 weeks of on-site, closely evaluated training. The difference is the 14-step process to even get to the academy. The difference is that my officers aren't able to walk in, write a check, and then leave with a badge and credentials and a gun.
Lake Arthur's police roster includes businessman Oliver Brooks. Now, Brooks calls himself Captain Brooks and keeps a Lake Arthur patrol car parked in the driveway of his Los Ranchos estate north of Albuquerque. Albuquerque's Jordan Nybert has a Lake Arthur commission and falsely claims on his resume to be a certified police officer. Even though Texan Alan Brooks is not a police officer, he used his Lake Arthur credentials to take part in an Artesia drug raid, in which a suspect was shot and killed. He was not charged. Charles Pressburg flashed his village credentials after he was busted for shooting his brother-in-law in Oregon. Pressburg was later convicted. And when former Navy SEAL J.D. Smith was charged with drug smuggling by the DEA in North Carolina, he carried Lake Arthur police credentials. Albuquerque attorney Simon Kubiak has no police training. However, Lake Arthur records name him as a police lieutenant. As head of the Lake Arthur Police Reserve Association, Kubiak collects the $400 in annual dues from each of the posse members. However, the Albuquerque attorney would not release an accounting of the funds. State Representative Bill Ream is a retired Bernalillo County Sheriff's captain.
Based on what you know today, what's going on in Lake Arthur, Bill?
It looks like to me it's a fraternity that wants to carry concealed guns.
Is the Lake Arthur Police Department by the book?
Absolutely not. They're not following any of the procedures prescribed by the Law Enforcement Academy, and the documentation that you showed me is totally inadequate to even be a police agency.
How would you characterize what's going on in Lake Arthur?
People from outside the state, and some inside the state, but mostly outside the state, are taking advantage of a small village and their ability to issue commission cards and use those to get carry and conceal authorization and further their own interest in kind of like paramilitary.
What is your advice to the chief in Lake Arthur?
This is an abuse of your power. You need to cease and desist operating this program, and you need to recall all those credentials immediately.
Will Norwood did not show up for a scheduled interview. 2 weeks ago, he turned in his resignation.
Does it bother you that Chief Norwood handed police commissions to as many as 150 people, many of them his friends who live out of state?
Yes, I guess it would bother me. Yeah, it does.
So what's the status of the reserve officer program today?
Because of you asking for the names to be released, a lot of the reserve unit resigned. So when they resigned, I dismantled the reserve unit.
The mayor says Lake Arthur police credentials have now been recalled.
We try to do good in the community, and it just got away from us, I guess, Larry.
Larry Barker, KRQE, News 13.
The Lake Arthur badge scheme has now drawn the attention of both federal and state investigators. To see a roster of the Lake Arthur Reserve Police, head to our KRQE